Hey, welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you a brand new eyeshadow palette that as soon as it launched, I knew I had to have it because it is a beautiful purple color story. This is the ABH and Norvina volume number 5. This is what she looks like. And this is one of the looks that I created. I'm going to be creating 3 looks for you guys today. And then, of course, finishing the face. So for this video, it's just going to be the 3 eye looks. I'm going to give you guys my thoughts at the very end. If you're interested in finding out what those are, watching some more eye looks come together, including this one, please be sure to stick around. If you're just now making it over here to my channel and you're not already subscribed, and you like makeup and beauty content, reviews, first impressions, empties, hauls, all that jazz, please be sure to hit that subscribe button if you enjoy this video while you're watching. Tap that notification bell so you don't miss future uploads. Let's get into this first impression. Great. We're going to play rub our engines now. This is yet another purple color story from Anastasia Beverly Hills. This one is, I don't want to say it's massively different from the first one, but it is different because the first one's a lot darker. Let me grab that one and I'll kind of compare the two for you really quickly. This one is just a little bit, well actually it's a lot more deeper toned. I mean, you can absolutely see the difference between the two palettes. Very different indeed. I feel like the first one just has a lot more, I don't know, you got like this bright orange down here, you've got the blue, a red, it's got like the mustard tones. It's just different, right? It's kind of a hodgepodge. It's all over the place. I feel like this color story makes a lot more sense. It's a lot more cohesive. You've got a lot of the deeper, like, taupey shades. You've got the couple of deeper purple tones, some lighter purple. You've got, like, the plummy tones. A lot of pretty shimmers going on in here. There's actually one pressed glitter, which I'm not the biggest fan of. And I was kind of hoping this was going to be, like, a really stunning shimmer. But no, that's a pressed glitter. So we're going to kind of ignore that shade. That one is D2. But what I'm going to be doing for you guys today is creating at least 3 different looks for you. I was going to do 5, but I don't know if I have the energy to do all that. So I'm going to commit to 3. So it's been such a long time since I've played with my ABH Norvina palettes that I honestly can't remember what eye base these shadows work best over, because this isn't your typical ABH formula. This isn't like the formula in her regular palettes, right? This formula is just a little bit different. Well, it's quite a bit different, actually. The original formula is very powdery. The shimmers are very foiled looking, but this formula is just a little bit different. The shimmers are not as like bam in your face. The mattes are a little bit harder pressed, so they're not as powdery. So I figured what I'll do is start off with my ABH primer because it's from ABH, and I feel like if you're going to create eyeshadows and you're going to have a primer, they should probably play well together. I do have to say, though, there are several shades in here that kind of are blowing my mind a little bit in comparison to their other palettes that are like this. So the shade C4 right here is this stunning pinky orange duochrome, and the formula is very, very bam in your face compared to, like, say, E1, which is like, you know, your typical duochrome, but it's nothing outrageous, right? But when you look at C4, it's very foiled looking and duochromy. And then you look at the shade E3, which is this one down here. And this one is another one that is very metallic, shimmery, foiled, just stunning, beautiful quality. I'm just excited to play with these shadows. I think that I'm going to have some fun with this. Scoot on closer just a little bit. I want you guys to be able to see what's going on with the eyeballs. Get, like, scary close.
Hi, baby. You gotta be nice to me. I'm not being mean to you. Mommy loves him.
Let's hope that my neighbors decide to cut it out with the rubbing the engine bullshit. Every time I go to film, it's like they know. So I'm going to start off by taking A4 into the crease. And I went through and cleaned all my brushes today. So proud of myself. I hadn't cleaned my brushes, like really cleaned them, in a few months, which is disgusting. Don't do that, kids. So I own all except for the blue-green palette like this. I think that one was volume 2. I could be wrong, so don't quote me. But I own all of the other ones. Because I really do feel like they're easy palettes. And if you're looking for a variety of tones, you want something just kind of, I don't know, to throw together real quick, you can make quite a few looks with these palettes. So I do think they come in handy, and I do like the quality of them. But I also like them for just laying down my basic matte shades and then going in with my special indies over top. I don't really reach for these for their shimmers. But this palette might change that because, like I said, it's got some really beautiful shimmers in this one. I mean, so far blended really easily. That's my transition shade. No issues. Laid down really nicely. So I think like the next logical thing in this progression would be to take A5, which is just a deeper kind of like taupier, like a lighter purple shade. Browny purple, whatever. It's almost got like a pink undertone, not so much a purple. It kind of reminds me of shades in their last Norvina palette. Okay, let's try this deeper shade. I'm going to start it right in the crease here. Oh yeah. I mean, that was really easy. Now if I was going to keep on with the same kind of tones that I'm going with already, then the next easiest thing would be to dip into like C5, just because it's a deeper, like we already used, we already used this one, and we already used this one. No, these two. We already used these two. So the next like obvious selection would be like this one because it stays with that same tone. So let's do that. Let's start packing that on the outer edge with a flat brush. Haven't been telling you the brushes at all. So the first brush that I used was the Sonia G Blender Pro. Really nice blending brush. The second brush was the Crease 2 from Sonia G. Again, a fantastic crease brush. And then this is the Builder Pro from Sonia G. Can you tell I like Sonia G brushes? Packing that, whoa, pigment. Anybody else getting melt cheese and parties vibes? Definitely. I'm going to take a smaller crease brush. This is the Mini Booster. And I'm going to start packing C5 in my, well, blending in my crease rather, not packing. Going to blend it up into that other shade. Like this has been really easy. Gonna go back into that original shade and kind of mesh things together a little bit. I mean, this was a super simple base for the shimmer shades. I don't know what to do now though, because tonally I would probably want to go in with this shimmer up here, right? If I want to keep things cohesive, which is probably what I'll lay on that outer corner there. But as far as the inner corner, you know what? C1, the shade right here, this reminds me of like very distant long lost cousin of Tara Moon's Moontide. Does it not? If you have Tara Moon's Moontide, then you might agree with me on this. Like, that's actually really pretty, but it's not going to go well with this tone. It's too warm, but that's a beautiful shade. Okay, I think I know what I want to do. I don't know how this is going to turn out, but we're going to try it anyway. I'm going to pack B5, which again is that deeper, plummy, like satin shade. Let's pack that out here with my finger. And it's pretty much like a spot-on dupe of the deeper matte shade that I already laid down. God, this really does remind me of Melt Cheese and Parties, like big time, with the tones here. Okay. Even this shade, oh my. This is also one of the, well, I don't want to say it's one of the shades from there, but this is also a shade that, hold on a second. Now I need to go get the Melt palette and we need to do some comparisons. Because I just realized how like eerily similar some of these shades are. Wow. Okay, you guys. There's quite a few dupes in here. Okay, the shade that I was just showing you, Skeleton Kiss, out of Melt She's and Parties. Let's do a side by side. Get out of here. So on my pointer finger, this is the Melt shade, this is the ABH shade. Would you look how similar? They're both duochromes. They both flip from that pink to that like kind of an orangey shade. Unreal. I will say once you swatch them out, they are a little bit different. But upon like first glance, they're both really similar, okay? And then when we're looking at the purples, oh my god. The first shade is B5 from ABH, and this one is Sleepwalk from Melt. Look how similar these tones are. They're both satins. Wow. What else do we have? We have one more, don't we? Now these two are a little bit different, but we have Mean Streak from Melt, and then we've got C5 from ABH. But it's like they're just similar enough that when I look at this palette, like those are the shades that call out to me as being super similar. So that's why I'm getting such Melt She's in Parties vibes with this look. Okay. I just thought that I'd call that out really quickly. I thought that that was interesting. So I think what I want to do is take that shade A2, which is that duochrome. So it's this one right here. And I'm going to use that for the inner portion of my lid. I really wish that these pans were removable because I just feel like I would have fun kind of moving things around and organizing them in a way that makes sense to my brain, because when you look at the way this is organized, some of it makes sense, but then the rest is kind of jumbled and all over the place. This is just going on with my finger. There's no glitter glue, primer, nothing like that down, nothing extra. Now, just so you guys know, I have not watched anyone's review with this palette yet because I wanted to review it without some sort of bias, without knowing what other people created with it, what they thought about it, whatever. Typically, when I'm reviewing a palette, I want to be able to create my own thought or form my own thoughts without having a bunch of, I guess, preconceived notions about what other people think about it. So, I don't know what people think about this one. You're getting 100% Michelle opinion with this one. I really like that. I think that looks nice. Just keep in mind that if I had on lashes and full makeup and an eyebrow, that this would look even better. And the under the lower lash line work, all that jazz, it really would look even better than it does now. I think that this is a beautiful eye look. It's really simple. It took me 10 minutes, 15 minutes at the most, and I really like it. Let us dip into a purple, like a lighter purple this time. I really want to use one of these stunning shimmer shades, like this one would be fun to use. Let's start off with B2. It's this really beautiful lighter purple shade. Let's buff that into the crease. And I'm going to take the Sonia G Classic Crease Brush. Start buffing. This one does have like a pinky hue to it. These are going to be vastly different eye looks. Again, blending really beautifully, really easily. No issues so far. See how different these two tones are. Just completely different. I like that there's that much variety of tones in this palette. All right, where do I want to go from here? I want to end up using this really beautiful shimmer E3. Whoops, this one here. It's so pretty. I think I'm going to take D4, which is this really, it's just a deeper purple, and I'm going to start blending that up into this first one. Like, look at the pigment. It's good. I noticed that in the monitor, I don't know if it's looking like this to you guys, but it looks a little patchy through here. In person, it's not looking like that. So I've tried to like fiddle with it a little bit. based on what I'm seeing in the monitor. But I just want to reassure you that it's not looking like that in person at all. It's just picking it up on camera for some odd reason. I don't know why it's doing that. It's got to be my camera settings, but I'm not a professional, so this is what you get. So the shade that I've been most excited to use is the one down here, E3. It's really one of those like foiled chunky type of shimmers. And I'm going to pack that on the outer edge. Like, look at that. Such a beautiful shade. So pretty. There was some fallout with that one, but doesn't matter because I don't have my makeup done. I love that. Part of me really thinks that B1, which is this really gorgeous, shiny, shifty, kind of iridescent shade. I feel like, holy Moses. We need to do that, don't we? Let's do that. Maybe I should put down a little bit of glitter primer this time. Let's do that too. Let's just see what it looks like if we up the ante a little bit. While I was searching for my glitter glue, I have a whole little tray full of like the sample size perfumes, and my ADD is out of control anymore. So like I saw that and I was like, ooh, let me spray one on me like while I'm looking for this glitter glue. And I picked up Tom Ford's Wood. Oh my God. This must be like more of a masculine scent, but it smells so good. Like I've been smelling my arm now for a few minutes. It's lovely. Let's move on. So I'm going to take the NYX Glitter Primer, just a little bit. We're going to put it through here just to really give that extra pop for that shimmery white shade. Okay. Ooh, buddy. Wow. I'm telling you, if I almost said BH. If Anastasia Beverly Hills keeps it up with these types of shadows, they might be alright. Yes, indeed. I love that. That is so pretty. It honestly, like when you look at this, it doesn't even really look like something that you would create with this. Or maybe it does, but this is my kind of eye look. I'm very much so extra when it comes to my eyeshadow looks. I like something to be very loud and bam and shiny and eye-catching, and this is me. I really like both eye looks. This one's a little bit more subtle, more toned down, more wearable, and this one is like, you know? So far, I am really digging this palette. I'm glad that I picked it up. I have had no issues with blending with any of the shimmers, the mattes, nothing. So far, this palette is rocking my world. So I'm going to go ahead and hop off camera, take off these two eye looks, and you know what? We're going to finish this off with one last look. I feel like if I try to cram in two more, it's just going to take up too long, and I really want to get this video uploaded soon for you guys in case you've been thinking about buying it. Let me hop off of here and we will start anew with the last eye look. So we did cool toned and we did warm toned. I kind of want to be able to use this really gorgeous like pinky orange duochrome because it's stunning. But how? How am I going to use that? I'm going to very lightly dip into E4. I just want to try to use as many different shades as I can. So I'm going to dip into E4 very lightly, and then I'm going to go into this really beautiful like mauve tone, this E2. It upsets me just a little bit that I just cleaned all my brushes and now they're all stained purple. Oh well. All for a good cause, right? Okay, let's start off with my Sonia G Blender Pro. And again, dipping into E4, which is that like that camel brown. I have a feeling it's going to be a little bit too deep for what I'm wanting. So we're going to just be light-handed about it. I'm going to keep it up a little higher in my crease. I'm really hoping I'm not overexposed. I'm trying different stuff with my lighting. I said that in a previous video. I did not like the lighting in the previous video, so I kind of reverted back to what I was doing before. And I'm not so sure it's the same, so... and I'm sitting awful close to my camera and my ring light, so it might be a little bit too much. You guys will have to let me know. So far, so good. So I recently, like 20 minutes ago, just bought the new Huda Beauty Glowish skin tint. Like, why? I don't like light coverage stuff because, I mean, look at the face. I don't know why I continually do stupid shit like that. I think I want to fit in so bad with the glowy kids. I figure if nothing else, I heard a couple people mention that you can use it as like a mixer. So I'm thinking maybe if I mix it in with like my Estee Lauder Double Wear, I can have the best of both worlds. And I can have a matte base that looks glowy, right? And doesn't feel like an oil slick. Because things don't wear long on me at all. Is it even? One eye droops. This eye droops. And this eye really doesn't. I still have hooded eyes on both sides. But this eye droops farther. So it's hard for me to like compensate. It's kind of a pain in the ass, if I'm just being honest. So now we're going to take E2. Again, it's this one right here. Let's start building that up in the crease. I'm really hoping that this meshes well. I'm a little worried, I'm not going to lie. Okay, okay. Not shabby. Okay, I think what I want to start doing now is packing that deeper shade, E2, that like mauve tone, out here. I am going to go over top of it with another shade. I do this a lot, and sometimes I question if this is even like, does it make sense to do this because it gets covered up? But I just feel like it adds to the cohesiveness of it. Blending everything together. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, whatever. Okay, now that I have that laid down, I'm going to take E5. That's this really deep, plummy purple. And we're going to start packing that on the outer edge. Actually, let's do this with a really tiny blending brush. I'm going to be using the Morphe M506. Really good for blending into the hooded eye area. It's making this bottom color come off. You see that? It's becoming a little patchy. That's the first issue I've had. So I'm not going to do too much with it then. See if I can't pack it on with the packer brush. There we go. That's a little bit better. Okay, it's not perfect, but I want to move on from here. I like the overall tones together. It's a little sloppy, okay? It's where we're at right now. It's been a long day. Now I need to decide what to do about a shimmer. I need something darker on the outer edge, and I need a lighter shimmer in the beginning part of my eye. That's how I always do it. That's what flatters my eye shape, I think. I might take this shade here to put at the beginning of my lid first, and then go over it with C4. Just because C4 is more of a, like, topper shade. Let's just begin with B5. Just very lightly tap it here, because we're going to go over top of it with that beautiful duochrome. I just want it to have a base to sit over top of, because I feel like if I used it on its own, it's not going to be impactful enough. I gotta say though, I've been having a lot of fun playing with this palette. There is a lot going on in here, and you can create a lot of different eye looks. I know that this is my first time using it, but I'm gonna just say it. As of right now, it's my favorite one, for sure. Like, hands down, without a doubt. I love this one. This one's easiest for me to use. I'm not the most creative person in the world, so sometimes I have to work really hard to come up with eye looks. I don't have a difficult time with this one at all. I see different looks. I can match the tones together really easily. They just made it really easy. All right, let's see what it looks like now when I take C4, which is this gorgeous shimmery orange. Let's put it over top. I mean, look at that. I love that. I'm a sucker for some sparkle, y'all. Once I have everything else done, I feel like it's really going to come together. All right, so I'm going to hop off camera. I'm going to finish the rest of my makeup. My entire base is going to be on. The brows, I'm going to put on some mascara, do some lower lash line work. So I'm pretty much going to be looking like a different person when I come back. And then once I do that, we will go over my thoughts on this palette. Okay, so this is the final look using the ABH Norvina Volume 5 palette. I don't know if this is my favorite out of the three, or I don't know. I really enjoyed all three looks. I think you can probably tell by my reactions throughout this video that I really like this palette, like a lot. It's my favorite out of the entire series, which I think I already said to you guys. I just think it's the most cohesive out of all of them. I feel like as time went on, they got more cohesive. Like the first one was way out of left field. It had orange and blue and mustard yellow and purples and all kinds of crazy shit going on. And then you had the blue-green, which was more cohesive. And then the orange one was really nice and fall-toned and made some sense. And then you had the pink tones and the neutrally browns and all that stuff. That was pretty good. But this one to me makes the most sense and has the most cohesive color story. So I would say, well, a couple of things. Number one, I really enjoy this formula. I think the shimmers in this palette are better than the other shimmers in the prior palettes. I don't know why that is. Maybe they've improved upon their formula. Maybe it's just me because I haven't used their palettes in a while. But I'm telling you, E3, E1, C4, shit, B1, A3, they're just superior shimmers in comparison. So the mattes perform exactly like the mattes from the other palettes, which I've always enjoyed. So I knew that I was going to like those, but the fact that it has a better shimmer formula is just an added bonus. So I really enjoy this. I'm so glad that I picked it up. Look, I'm a sucker for a good purple color story. I've always loved purple eyeshadows. I've got green eyes. It helps to bring out the green eyes. You'll read that everywhere if you read about, the perfect color for green eyes. Purple eyeshadows. But above and beyond that, I love the color purple. It's one of my favorite colors. So when I saw this, I knew that I wanted to at least give it a try, see what I thought about it, and I'm in love with this palette. I think it's beautiful, and I really can't wait to use it some more. There's a fly flying around my room right now, and it's driving me absolutely bonkers. I've already broken several fly swatters here recently because for some reason flies are just making their way into my home. So if you see it floating through the picture, I'm so sorry. I apologize. Anyhow, I hope that this review was helpful for you. I don't really want to call it a review. I hope that this first impression was helpful for you. But honestly, that's all I really needed to do with this was create the three looks, and I know that I'm sold on this. I love this. So if you like this video from me, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. Not only does that help me out because it lets me know that you enjoy this type of content from me, but it also lets YouTube know. Whether it's liking, sharing, subscribing, whatever, YouTube will push this content out there for more people to find, which means more people might make their way over to this community, and I'm so grateful when you guys take the time to do that. If you haven't already hit that subscribe button, please tap that subscribe button if you enjoyed this. Ring that notification bell so you don't miss future uploads, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Bye.